just about to start. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to PSGL. We are back for the F5 division here in Season 31. We are back for another season, and we're here in the PlayStation division for F5. And we're back for the Austrian Grand Prix. We're kicking things off at the Red Bull Ring for round one of this exciting championship in PSGL. So the Red Bull Ring, it's got 10 turns and a circuit length of 4.3 kilometers, and that makes it the shortest track on the Formula One calendar. We're also going to have 3 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking, but if this weather stays on into the Grand Prix, the DRS will not be enabled. So with the track details aside, let's get into the racing here today. It's good to be back commentating on PSGL, and it's good to be back with an exciting grid, an exciting championship fight. It's going to be awesome. PSGL Season 31 kicks off today, round 1 in Austria on the brand new F1 22 game, and my oh my, this is going to be an exciting season. So I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator for the F5 division this season in Season 31. If you guys are new to PSGL, please make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And also, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to like as well. I do want to mention that this video and this entire season is sponsored by GT Omega as our title sponsor for PSGL. And you can use the code PSGL at checkout on the GT Omega website for 5% off on GT Omega products. So let's get into the action out on track. We have a lot of drivers already out on track, and as I mentioned briefly, we have a wet qualifying session starting off this season here in PSGL. It's slightly raining on track, not too much rain, so there's no need for the heavy wet compound tires, but these drivers are on the intermediates because it is just a little bit of rain, light rain out there. So I'd say the majority of the track has cars on it. I think there's still a few drivers in the pit lane, but I'm sure that they will be coming out very, very soon. So we're currently riding on board with Fidgeman in the Haas. He's one of the first drivers to come out on track and set a lap time. He's coming through turn 3, a very difficult point of the track, and this is going to be a very good place to make an overtake as well to the inside line, but we'll see how that all works out for drivers in these conditions, since they're very difficult to cope with, and you're going to have a little bit of aquaplaning as well. Turn 4, as we're coming through that section right now on board now with Fidgeman. He gets a little bit too much on the power at the exit of 4, but it's all good for the Haas drivers. He's coming around. The double left-hander goes a little bit wide, a little bit too wide, and he's struggling to get on the power. I think he's going to have to take a few more laps to get used to it, as actually Victor has set the first lap of the session, a 1:12.2 for the Aston Martin driver, so he's the first driver to set a lap time. But you can see the Haas of Fidgeman there struggling a little bit to come onto the power out of turn 5, and he's struggling for grip, it seems, as well. With these intermediate compound tires, you can't really just go out and set a lap instantly. You need more time to kind of warm up the tires, get those tires ready for a final push lap. Rick takes over as the fastest lap holder. He is a 1:11.834. That's his fastest lap right now. And McLaren go to the top of the timing sheets already. And I think we're just waiting for a few more drivers to come across the line. There goes Kev in the Alfa Romeo, and Fidgeman's teammate Arrow in the other Haas goes into third with a 1:12.5, around 3/10 slower than Victor. But of course, these times are not the actual times. We still have some more faster times coming, as, like I mentioned, you need a little bit more laps to kind of get these intermediates ready for a final push lap, and a very good push lap at that. So we'll see how that all works out. Oh, already we have a retirement. That is Ryan in the Red Bull. And I'm trying to find an onboard with the driver to see exactly what happened to the driver there. As actually you can see Catterson coming through that exact same section. I think Ryan got a little bit too much on the power, or I don't know, went a little bit wide and spun the car into the wall. But the fact of the matter is that Ryan is out of qualifying already in the first session here in F5 for Season 31. That's unfortunate, of course, so he'll be starting towards the end of the grid. But hopefully he'll be able to make a recovery drive in the upcoming Grand Prix. We were riding on board with Catterson, who did go P9 up into the top 10 already, and we're seeing some quicker lap times coming in. I do believe we just had Rudy, who just went second fastest for the Alpine team, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, a lot of drivers out on track now, and pretty much everybody's out on track. The only two that are in the pit lane is Fidgeman and Victor, and now Sanvuda as well. And those drivers have now entered the pit lane, probably to set another intermediate compound tire on their car, or to look at the data that they were looking at previously. You know, when is the rain ending? Is it going to end? And also, where can they improve on their times as well? As we have Arrow going purple in the first sector, as Luca goes fastest overall, and you can see that the track is getting much better. It's getting, hold on a second. Arrow got a little bit too much on the power there. You can see him kind of swerving back and forth, I could say, as the Haas driver looks to be continuing on with his lap, so it didn't really affect his lap too much. So, looks like I think he's backed off, actually. So it looks like he's struggling for grip out there in the Haas car. So he's going to be staying in P7 for now. Rick improves and takes over as the fastest lap holder. Once again, he goes faster than Luca's time, and it is a 1:11.5 for the McLaren driver. And Luca in the Red Bull still second, and I think he's backed off of that particular lap, maybe heading into the pit lane, and he's going to try and review the data and go out again on another set of intermediate compound tires. And also, I want to mention, if the rain is staying into the Grand Prix, the drivers won't really have to worry about tires, because that's a new feature in the F1 2022 game, and in the new season of PSGL, we'll be seeing this. We'll be seeing drivers start on fresh new compound tires. In the old game, they had to qualify on the tire that, or they had to start the race on the tire that they qualified on. So this is a little bit different, and hopefully it will help improve racing and just the overall action out on track as well. So Luca going out for another lap. Maybe that was a cool down lap. Let's ride on board with the Red Bull car. As Luca comes down to turn 1, we're going to take a full onboard lap with the Red Bull. Very nice line through turn 1, actually, for the Red Bull driver. He's coming down the fastest point of the track, really, into turn 2. You're going to see a little bump, and it is there. I do believe we saw it briefly as he comes down into turn 3 now. Heaviest braking zone on the track as well. You want to slowly come on the power. You can see Luca struggling for traction out of turn 3. Down the back straight now, coming down to the downhill section of turn 4. Gets right in between that curve. Very nice line so far for Luca, as this is another traction zone as Arrow takes over as fastest overall, 1:11.440. Luca coming through turn 5. A nice line through turn 5 into 6, 7, and that tricky turn 8 as well. As this is exactly what I was just going to mention. Traction zone right there. And this section is going to be crucial for drivers not to make a mistake. Turn 9, you want to get right between that curve and don't go too wide like Luca did, and unfortunately he's going to get an invalidation because of that. And yeah, if you go too wide at turn 9, you do get an invalidation like Luca proved right there. That's so unfortunate because Luca was on a very quick lap there. We were riding on board with the Red Bull driver throughout that entire lap, and it was going very well, so unfortunate to see that. But you can see a lot of drivers setting quick lap times here. Sergioli in the Mercedes has just gone 5th fastest, so very good lap time from the Mercedes driver. Vandenberg is in the pit lane. He is still P7. Smalley in the Alfa Romeo, and Bacchi in the Ferrari. P8 and P9. Slash in the AlphaTauri, sitting 10th at the moment, going out for another lap as he comes through turn 1. I want to see what he can do as we have a Sector 3 yellow flag. I do believe that is because of a driver going off the track at turn 1, and also drivers also slowing down just before their lap starting. so they can get prepared for their final lap. But anyway, we have around 8 minutes remaining of this session. A lot of drivers yet to set, I'd say, a really competitive lap time. I'd say bottom 15, they'll be looking to set an even faster lap time. Also, I didn't cover this, but Julio also retired from the session. So that's unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. But yeah, he'll be starting in the Grand Prix, so all good there. But I think Fidgeman is going to need to go out for another lap, and I do believe he's already out on track. Sanfuda as well is going to go out for another lap as we see Slash come into the pit lane now in the AlphaTauri, so he's decided not to continue on with that particular lap, and Slash comes into the pit lane. So with about 8 minutes or so to go in the session, the two McLarens are looking really quick, but it is not the McLarens on the top step of this session. It is Arrow in the Haas car. So Arrow looking pretty strong in that Haas with a 111.4. As actually Victor goes faster than the two McLarens and puts it into the 111.4s, but he's just a few 100ths of a second behind Arrow in the Haas. And the Aston Martin driver is going to be sitting P2 on the front row of the grid. And we have a comment coming in that says, Rick for driver of the day. Yes, I definitely think... Oh, hold on a second. Rudy spins in the Alpine at turn 8. And he was on a lap, I do believe. And that's unfortunate to see the Alpine car spin around, and proving that turn 8 can be quite difficult. He's going to get out of the way of the oncoming car. But he's going to have to cool down those tires, maybe take a lap to cool down the tires, and then go out for one more lap on those tires, unless he's going to push a little bit more. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, going back to the McLarens, since this is the first race of the season, we don't really know who is insanely quick. But judging by the qualifying time so far, the McLarens are looking really quick. Rick currently ahead of his teammate, Marquito. Marquico in the McLaren is a 111.5, and Rick is also a 111.5, so showing that the McLarens are evenly matched there. So quite interesting to see that, but we'll see what they can do. Currently, they occupy the second row of the grid, and if they can lock out at least one row on the grid, like a high-up row like the second row, I think they'll be very happy. But I'm sure they're going to be pushing for the front row, not the second row, as Rick is going to go out for another lap in the McLaren, and he's going to start what will be his, I do believe, first lap on these intermediate compound tires. And we'll see what he can do in the Mercedes-powered McLaren. And his teammate, Marquico, is also going to be going out on a lap. He's currently on an out lap coming out of the pit lane, and he will be starting his lap in due time, but he is getting out of the way of the oncoming Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri's. Arrow goes even faster. The Haas driver is pushing absolutely to the maximum percentage as he goes into the 111.3s now. A very good lap time as Rudy does end up setting a very quick lap time there. He is P4 now and splits the two McLarens, so he's gone with a 111.553, and wow, look how close the times are between third and fourth position, just about 1/100th of a second separating third and fourth position. Very, very interesting. Ooh, as Luca goes fastest overall, the Red Bull driver now goes into the 111.2s. So some more quick lap times coming in from Luca. Also, Slimbo as well in the Ferrari. Ferrari coming into the top three now as he goes with a 111.455. And that Ferrari driver will be looking to qualify in the top 5 as we have Victor. It said he was going on to the soft compound tires for a moment. I was very surprised to see that because I don't think it is time for the dry compound tires quite yet. So I do believe we are in the end stages of the qualifying session here today in Austria. This is going to be quite exciting to see how these drivers can do in this rainy qualifying session. Who will qualify on pole position for the first race here in season 31? Well, we're about to find out in about 4 minutes time. Alrighty, so we're just waiting for a few drivers to kind of come out on track. A few drivers are on out laps, getting prepared for the final few minutes of the session. Still a long ways to go. Oh, hold on a second. Sergioli has spun at turn 7. The Mercedes car is off the track. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's any damage to the Mercedes car, and he'll come back on track once the cars have passed. And he'll be able to most likely set another lap time if he's able to cool down those tires after that spin. I'm assuming they're quite hot. But anyway, we are approaching the 3-minute mark of this Austrian Grand Prix qualifying session. As Arrow going out for his final lap or so. And maybe he has time for another lap as he actually improves as he goes into the 110s. Wow. Arrow, the first driver to go into the 110s. So that lap must have been impressive from the Haas driver because he has moved 3/10 ahead of Luca. That is incredibly impressive from the Haas driver there. And he's looking to qualify on pole position I think that Arrow could be qualifying on pole. That's my prediction for this qualifying session. But, you know, anything can happen. I think Luca's very quick. Those two McLarens, keep an eye on them as well. They're looking pretty quick in this session. Really, anyone can get up there. Slash in the AlphaTauri did go 7th. So great to see that as well for the AlphaTauri drivers. A few drivers are getting ready to set lap times. You can see all of them kind of bunching up at the end. As I think the two McLarens are setting laps, but I think one of them is in traffic, and I do believe that is Marquico, who is in traffic for the Alpine, but thank goodness the Alpine does get out of the way. I think there was a mistake, possibly for, I want to say it's Sanvuda, but I can't be certain on that. But the McLarens will have free space now, and they will have a chance of going for the pole position here. So we'll see how this works out. Arrow has decided to pit, so that is the end of his session. Vandenberg now goes into P3. Very good lap time from the AlphaTauri driver. Sergioli in the Mercedes now goes P5. So back up into the top 5 for the Mercedes driver after that late spin. So thankfully he was able to set a competitive lap time there and get himself up into the top 5. But what about those McLarens? What about Luca as well? He's starting his lap. Keep an eye on the Red Bull driver. Next up to come across the line should be the Aston Martin of Victor as he's coming to the line now. Let's see what he can do. He goes second fastest, a 1:11.0, very competitive lap time, as Rick now goes fastest overall, and Arrow is knocked off the top step of this qualifying. Rick has just beaten the Haas driver, and McLaren absolutely dominating qualifying here, as Rick goes into the 1:10.969s now, so very competitive lap time. His teammate unfortunately had an invalid lap time, and I'm assuming that's because of the invalid lap at turn 9, and unfortunately, Marquico will start P6 at best. So we're waiting on a few more drivers to come across the line. Luca still on a lap though, so Rick currently P1, but he might not be at the end of this session as Luca is flying purple in the second sector now. Luca is coming through turn 8, aces that section, but it unfortunately gets a little bit too much on the power. Could that affect his lap? Let's find out in 2 corners time. He comes through turn 9. Gotta get this absolutely correct. He does. Into 10 we go to the line. Can Luca start on pole position in the first round of season 31? No, it is only the second row of the grid. Luca improves to 3rd position, and Luca will start 3rd ahead of Victor, but unfortunately, it is not pole position for him today, and I do believe that concludes qualifying unless anyone else is able to set another lap, and a better one at that. Let's find out. We are watching a Williams. I do believe that's Catterson coming to the line. He improves to 10th position now. I do believe we're now waiting on an Alpine. That is Senfuda. And Rudy on a lap as well. He was really quick in this qualifying session. Currently in P12. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to start in the top 10 of this particular session. As he's coming around turn 9. Into 10 we come. Rudy currently P12. What can he do? Oh, he goes a little bit wide, but he's able... No, he's not able, actually. He's not able to improve on his time, and that may have affected his lap, and unfortunately, that means Rudy is starting P12 in this Grand Prix. And with that, that concludes qualifying for the first round here in Austria of F5. Rick is on pole, followed by Arrow, followed by Luca. What a starting grid. Victor and Vanderberg are the top 5. So wow, what a session here today. What a qualifying session. And if that's how it's going to be during the entire season, count me in. I'm ready to go. So now we head into the race. The official Grand Prix is ready to go. It is Rick on pole, followed by Arrow and Luca. Victor and Vanderberg complete the top 5. Marquito was unfortunately not able to set a better lap time due to the invalidation. He will start P6. Sergioli is P7 with Smalley completing the top 8 on the grid. And then it is Slimbo in the Ferrari and the Williams driver of Catterson completing the top 10. Slash and Rudy P11 and P12. So unfortunately they were not able to make it into the top 10. Baki in the Ferrari will start P13 with Trappy Formula in 14th for the Williams team. Sanfuda in the Alpine starts P15 with Kev in the Alfa Romeo starting 16th. And then we have Lactu in the Mercedes as he starts P17. Fidgeman and Julio and Ryan complete the grid. I'm also curious to see what Julio and Ryan can do starting at the back of the grid. Hopefully they make a great recovery drive. So we'll see how that works out for them in this upcoming race. And oh dear, okay, we have full-on rain, and you can see this is more rain than the qualifying session, so no DRS, at least for the time being. But you can see there is more drops coming down, which means there is probably going to be the wet compound tires. I'm assuming you can also see to the right of your screen puddles, a lot more puddles than the loading screen for the qualifying session. So I'm assuming we'll be seeing wet compound tires. So we'll have a rain race, most likely, but we don't know if that rain's going to be clearing up soon. We'll have to find out. Now, I do want to mention, again, if you guys are all new to PSGL, if you have not subscribed already, please make sure to subscribe to see more PSGL content. F5 is not the only division. We have many different divisions in PSGL, both in the PS divisions and the PC divisions as well, and the majority of them are being streamed. So definitely go check out that, and if you guys are enjoying the commentary, please make sure to like this stream. And I do want to mention that our stream is being sponsored by Grid Rival and GT Omega, the latter being our title sponsor for the entire season. But here we go. Formation lap is underway. We are getting ready for a exciting season and exciting first race of PSGL Season 31 Championship. Rick will start on pole position with Arrow in P2, Luca in P3. Now, I want to talk about something real quickly, and that is the getaway. The getaway is going to be very crucial for drivers, and I think that's going to be probably the most interesting and probably one of the most intense parts for these drivers in this session, because since it is raining and the tires aren't really warmed up as much as the drivers would have wanted, I'm sure they would have wanted another 2 or so laps of formation to warm up those tires. But because of that, because it's only 1 lap, this means that the drivers are going to struggle to get off the line. So we could see drivers starting in a higher gear, like a 2nd, maybe even 3rd gear, depending on the conditions out on track. So yeah, we'll see how this all works out, but it's going to be an interesting one. Viewers, stay with us. We got an exciting race underway. 36 laps of the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. I'm Formula Joe, your commentator for the F5 division this season. It's going to be a thrilling season. It absolutely is. Wow, I cannot wait for this one. But of course, everything has a beginning, and the beginning starts now for the Austrian Grand Prix. Predicted pit stop strategy being shown on your screen now, as we have a 2-stop most likely being the best option. But of course, if the rain gets lighter, these drivers will have to think about a different strategy, possibly switching to the intermediates. And if it dries out completely, then we could be switching to the dry compound tires. But here we go for the race here at the Red Bull Ring. It is time to go for the 31st season of PSGL. This is F5, and we are ready to go for an exciting season in PSGL. McLaren start in the front row, Haas in P2. Who will lead us away into turn 1? Well, we're about to find out. So the formation lap is over. We are about to get set for this race. It's 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, and it's 5 lights, and it is lights out, and away we go in Austria. It's a great start for the front runners, but it is a pretty good start for Rick. He's going to lead us away down into turn 1 as the AlphaTauri trying to go to the inside of the Red Bull into turn 1. A pretty good start for Rick, who goes a little bit wide, and he's actually lost the position. He's lost the position to Arrow. Victor up into second now. And now we have Luca challenging the McLaren down to turn 3. We come. Luca and Rick side by side. A poor getaway for the Haas driver. But Rick had a difficult... he's actually struggling even more now. So he's struggling through each corner. He's down to 4th. Not a great start for the McLaren driver. And not a great start for the McLaren team as a whole as Marquito in the McLaren. Marquito is down to P19. Vandenberg is also down to 20th. As we see a lot of moves. Slash and Sergioli are side by side. The AlphaTauri and the Mercedes are looking to have a nice scrap for P6 in this race. The Mercedes is going to send it down the inside into 5, into 6, into 7. The Mercedes and the AlphaTauri are still side by side in these treacherous conditions, but it is Sergioli that keeps ahead. Brilliant move from the pair of them. Oh, and there's contact, I do believe, with an Alfa Romeo and an AlphaTauri. Are we seeing almost a 3-wide moment between these cars as everybody is trying to get up into further positions as we have Trappy Formula up into 8th now. Trappy Formula has got ahead of Slash, who had contact with the Alfa Romeo. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but it is Arrow that leads us away from Victor, Luca, Rick, and Catterson, the top 5, as Citrulli in P6 says that is Smalley and Slash moving down the order. What's going on here? As this is a brilliant scrap for, I do believe, P6, all the way down to around 15th position. The Alfa Romeos, the AlphaTauri. Oh, and there's contact. There is contact. Slash is round, and there's an Alfa Romeo involved as well. I do believe it was Kev, but I'm not exactly certain. Trappy Formula has now got a 5-second time penalty, so that's quite interesting, as well as we see more overtakes going on. As we see, oh, hold on a second. Contact towards the back of the field. Is that Slash and Lacuto? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, Slash is round. Slash is round. It has not been a great lap 2 for the AlphaTauri driver, and it has not been a great start for the AlphaTauri team as a whole, as Vandenberg is down to 19th as well. Ryan up to 16th from the back of the grid, trying to make his way through the field as we see Trappy Formula and Slimbo, I think, having a battle for P9, but Trappy Formula has got that 5-second penalty to worry about as well. So that's unfortunate for the Williams cars. We're riding on board with the Williams. Hold on a second. Victor has taken the race lead. Where did that happen? I'm sorry, I must have missed that. We were focusing on all the battling going on further down the grid that we didn't see as Victor actually goes wide. Arrow comes back, and Victor, the two are side by side. This is for the race lead. Victor stays ahead, but Arrow is right on the back of the Aston Martin car. Is he going to send it to the inside into turn 4? No, he stays behind. Arrow still in second position, and watch out for Luca. Watch out for the Red Bull driver. He is right there, 4/10 behind, and this, I did not expect the racing like this. With no DRS in these treacherous conditions, we expected just kind of like a DRS train kind of thing. Of course, there's no DRS, but you guys know what I mean. But no, I was wrong. This is absolutely amazing action in these treacherous conditions, showing that this tier is absolutely phenomenal, and it will continue to be phenomenal throughout the entire season. So Catterson has moved up to 4th position. A great start for the Williams team. Catterson and Trappy Formula in 4th and 8th now. So looking to be getting a good result here in Austria. Catterson actually going for the podium. He's trying to catch up to the rest of the field. Rick and the McLaren is P5, looking to get up there as well. So great to see all the battling going on here. As we are, I do believe, looking at the closest battle right now, Kev and Marquito Marquico trying to come back through the field. Is the McLaren going to send it to the inside? He's looking for the overtake. He's going for the overtake. He's making the overtake. And the McLaren has got up into 13th position. Kev tries to get the better exit, though, and try and get ahead of that McLaren car. But Marquico has stayed ahead of the Alfa Romeo for now. Kev's going to send it, though, to the inside line. Marquico gives him a little bit of space. Kev, unfortunately, has to back off. There's just not enough room at the end of that corner for him to make that overtake. But still, great action between the pair. So, pretty good start, actually, for pretty much everybody besides the AlphaTauris. It has not been a great start for them. Vandenberg and Slash down to 17th and 19th. Not a great start for the Italian team here in Austria. I'd say they are the probably, I don't want to be harsh, but the biggest losers in the start of this race. But it's not over. It's not over for the two drivers. They will be coming back, and they will have a chance of fighting for the top 10. As we see a nice little overtake going on between Slimbo and Fidgeman, as the Ferrari is right ahead. There comes the Alfa Romeo. It's an all-Ferrari battle. All-Ferrari-powered battle as a Ferrari, a Haas, and a Alfa Romeo are all going in this. And there's also the second Ferrari, Bacchi, in this battle as well, as Smalley and Fidgeman side by side. Is Smalley going to try and make the move on the Ferrari just ahead? No, he doesn't get the best traction. And now Fidgeman will be looking to make the overtake on the Alfa Romeo. But I do believe this battle has stopped for now. They will not be continuing this one on this particular lap. So we'll move on to the top part of the grid. So going back to the leaders right now, Victor has pulled off a 1.4 second gap to the Haas of Aero in P2. Luca in the Red Bull is currently 7/10 behind Aero, and I think that is going to be our closest battle for the top positions right now, unless Rick can make a move on Catterson. But we'll see how this all works out. We have another comment coming in, same Team Rudy, hashtag Team Rudy. Team Rudy, let's go. Rudy doing actually a great job for the Alpine team. Currently in P7, it's got a pretty good gap to Trampi Formula, and he's got a bigger gap to Sergioli, but I think he's trying to close that gap to the Mercedes driver. But we'll see how this works out for Rudy. So I think our closest battle and our biggest battle is the battle for 8th position right now. Slimbo trying to overtake Trampi Formula, and the others trying to overtake Slimbo as well. And I wonder if we're going to see a move for P15. Actually, it is a move, but Ryan is ghosted. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here. I think we did have an update on the new game, so that may be why Ryan has disconnected, because there seems to be a few bugs, but that's okay. I'm sure Codemasters are working hard to fix all that sort of thing. Hopefully Ryan's able to come back into the session. Meanwhile, we see a battle going on for 15th. Vandenberg and the Mercedes are looking to go side by side. Vandenberg stays ahead for now, though, and the AlphaTauri will stay in P15. Meanwhile, Fidgeman and Bacchi possibly going side by side into turn 9. You don't see a lot of overtakes into this particular section, and we'll have to wait to see that overtake because they are not going to be making it. But I bet Fidgeman is going to be looking to overtake the Ferrari into turn 3, but we'll find out once we get to that section of the track. Kev also in this battle. Oh, actually, Fidgeman goes off track. That might allow Kev, to get ahead of Fidgeman here. As, oh, he looked for the overtake. Kind of had a Pasta Maldonado incident there, almost. He looked for the overtake, but unfortunately couldn't make it. Thankfully, he saved the car from spinning. You can see his car kind of weaving back and forth. That was him trying to save it. Thankfully, he did, and he'll continue on this battle with the Haas of Fidgeman. He's not going to send it to the inside. Not enough space into that particular section, but Fidgeman goes a little bit wide. Kev sees the opportunity to go to the inside line, which will become the outside line for turn. Oh, and there's contact between the two drivers. There is contact between the two drivers as the Alfa Romeo and the Haas have made contact. Is there damage to either one of them? We don't know. It doesn't look like there's any damage to Kev's car, but there might be damage to Fidgeman's car. As actually Fidgeman is going to try and side by side with Marquico in the McLaren, who's making his way through the field up into 13th now. And speaking of McLaren, I do want to mention that big news at the top as Rick actually goes wide when we're about to talk about him. Rick has a penalty. That is crucial for other drivers to try and get past now. That helps them to try and get up to P4. It's not good news for Rick, though. We want Rick to do well, of course, but this 5-second penalty, I do believe it is 5 second. Let me quickly check. No, it is a 3 second for a track limit exceeding. So unfortunately, that's going to affect his result unless he's able to pull off a 3 second gap to the car behind. But yeah, this could affect his race position and his battle for the race victory as well, as he's currently P4, and he's got a 3 second gap to Luca, but we'll see. Oh, hold on a second. We got Trappy Formula off the track. The Williams car down to 15th from 8th, and it was going also well for the British Williams team. But unfortunately, Trappy Formula is down to P15, possibly either contact or a spin of some sort. So that's how that goes, and I just quickly want to take a look at this this battle here for P10. Baki looking for the overtake on Kev. Speaking of Ferrari, Slimbo is the first driver to come into the pit lane. Let's see what he puts on. It is going to be intermediate compound tires. This is interesting. This is actually very interesting from the Ferrari driver. And he is taking a gamble here. He is trying to put on the intermediate compound tires. Now, is it the time to do that? Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, hold on a second. We have a nice little overtake going on between Marquico and Vandenberg as the two... oh, there's contact between the two drivers. Marquico and Vandenberg have made contact there. Unfortunate to see, but that is how it goes. I wonder if the stewards will be looking into that incident. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a good camera angle of exactly what happened, and now Thijman is going to be looking to overtake Marquico, who has honestly not had the best race today. It has not really been his day, but it's all good. He is still in P12, still has a great chance of fighting for the top 10 and some solid points finishes, so we'll see how this all works out. As fastest laps coming in from Luca and Arrow. So I wonder if the intermediate compound tires are the best bet. Let's take a look at an onboard of the Red Bull driver of Luca. And let's see what he's going to be doing currently. He is coming through turn 3. You can see the rain is lighter, actually. Rain is much lighter. So we have Sergioli going down the inside on Catterson. Very good move from the Mercedes driver. That was a send. And the Mercedes has made the move up into the top 5. Very good overtake from Sergioli. Is Catterson going to fight him and try and go for an overtake into turn 4? He's just too far back. He cannot make it. There's no way he can. And that Williams will stay behind the Mercedes for the time being. But a good move from Sergioli as Catterson struggling to come off the power into turn 4. And I got the idea that Slimbo might have been right here. The intermediate compound tires might be the best bet. Is anyone going to risk it and coming into the pit lane? Any of the top runners? No. None of the top 3? Rick, maybe? Sergioli? No. None of the top 6 are coming into the pit lane, so no one quite yet is risking it. The only driver that has is Slimbo, and I want to actually take an onboard with the Ferrari so we can see what it is like. Is it too wet out on track, or is it not? Ooh, judging by his turn-in angle and his measure of putting on the throttle and taking off the throttle, it seems that the intermediates aren't really the tire at this stage in the race. So that's okay. That's how it goes. Oh, slash off the track. So I feel like it's kind of, as the engineers say, right on the cusp of the intermediate compound tires. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if anyone's going to risk it and try and go for the intermediates. I would expect drivers to come in for the inters in the next 4 to 5 laps, somewhere around there. But let's worry about tire strategy a little bit later on, because we've got a great battle going on here for P13. Are we going to see a 3-wide moment between these drivers here, as we have a Haas and a Williams and a Mercedes going for the battle here, as, ooh, a little bit of contact between the two is Lacuti, sorry, I mispronounced that, but the Mercedes, is he going to come and make the overtake? Oh, Thijman goes a little bit wide. Trappy Formula is now going to try and make the move. And Lakuto in the Mercedes is now going to be trying to make the move on Thijman, but he's actually dropped back a little bit, so that's a little unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. Thijman still 3/10ths of a second behind Trappy Formula. And Marquico into the pit lane. Ooh, barely made it into the pits. He had to lock up quite a lot there. And the McLaren comes in for his first pit stop of the day onto the intermediate compound tire. So he's taking the same risk that Slimbo is taking, and he's going to exit most likely right ahead of the Ferrari. So the number 2 car will end up right ahead of Slimbo. But let's see, here comes Slimbo into turn 1. It's going to be pretty close. Oh, and I think Slimbo might just get him. He will just get him, but thankfully Marquico will come out right ahead of the Ferrari. Ooh, great battle going on here for P14 still, as we have Slash coming back into the fight now. Is he going to look to make the move on the Mercedes into turn 7? It doesn't look like it. The AlphaTauri will stay behind for now. But we could see a Haas and Mercedes battle here as Feynman actually coming into the pit lane. Let's see what he puts on. Most likely the intermediate, so I do believe he is another driver to pit onto the inters. Oh, he's getting onto the grass. Thankfully saves it, but that was very close to getting a 5-second penalty there. Thankfully, Feynman did not there, so he's going to come into the pit lane, most likely for the intermediate compound tires. I want to see what tire it is. There we go. It is the intermediates. So a lot of drivers now coming into the pit lane, 3 as in total, so not a ton. I guess I rephrased that. I'll rephrase that a little differently, but yeah, actually, the Haas is going to come out right... Oh, side by side actually with the Aston Martin of Julio, and Julio will just barely get ahead. But he is on those wet compound tires, and we're actually seeing a move for P16 right now, and a move for P18. Oh, there's contact between the Ferrari and the McLaren. And that could affect their racing here, as Feynman's actually going to look to make the overtake on the Ferrari of Slimbo. And the Haas will move up into 17th, actually. So very good move from the Haas driver. And now he's going to split the the McLaren and the Ferrari, as Sergioli sets the fastest lap of the session. I want to quickly get to his POV, as he's starting to chase after Rick, actually. 2 seconds now separating 4th and 5th position. 1.9 now. So Sergioli slowly gaining time on that McLaren driver. But I gotta... Oh, hold on a second. Arrow's off the track. No, that's not Arrow. That is Thaiman. Thaiman off the track. I thought that was the race leader. The race leaders. That was a scare for me. Thank goodness it was not. But of course, it's unfortunate to see Thaiman off the track. Maybe struggling with those intermediates. Yeah, I think he is, because you can see him going quite wide there. That was close. Thankfully, he didn't end his race. He's going to be 7 seconds behind Julio, though, so he did lose a pretty big time to the Aston Martin driver. But that's okay. He'll come back into this race, I'm sure. So, what is our closest battle right now? I think it might be the battle for P9 between Kev, Baki, and Vanderberg. So this battle will continue on for, I don't know, a while. It's actually, we have the race leaders coming into the pit lane. Luca and Arrow into the pits. Intermediate compound tires. So this is a sign that the intermediates are most likely the best tire at this stage. Smalley and Vanderberg also coming into the pit lane as well. So a lot of drivers now coming into the pits, most likely pitting onto the intermediates. Luca and Arrow came into the pits on the inters. And the question is, where is Arrow going to end up? He actually ends up right ahead of Kev, and Luca ends up right behind the battle for what was 7th position. So this is actually very good news for Arrow, who's going to have 2 cars in between his rival, who was battling for 3rd in this race. So very interesting to see that. The question is Kev going to look to make that overtake on Arrow? It doesn't look like it. So he will not make the overtake quite yet on the Haas. So, will the leaders respond to the 2nd place and 3rd place drivers? Let's find out. Victor is not coming in. What about Rick? He is coming in. The McLaren into the pit lane now. Ooh, he goes a little bit wide. That shouldn't get him a penalty, as actually Victor has hit the fastest lap of the race, so proving the wets are still not a bad tire. So Rick coming into the pits, and the question is, where is he going to end up? I think, by my calculations, he's going to end up right in between the Mercedes and the Red Bull, but I can't be certain. Kev also into the pit lane, most likely onto the inters, as we have a spin. I do believe that might be Julio in the Aston Martin. Yes, it is. So the number 2 car off the track at the exit of 4, coming into 5. So that's unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver, showing that I think it might be time for the intermediates. I think it might be time. So I expect Julio's teammate, Victor in the Aston Martin to come into the pit lane this lap. Sergioli, Catterson, Rudy, Backy, pretty much everyone to start pitting in the next 1 to 2 laps. But let's see what Victor does, the race leader and the current Aston Martin driver. He is into the pit lane. So the Aston Martin comes into the pits. Judges the line perfectly, but thankfully he doesn't end up in the wall. That was very close to a race-ending moment for Victor, and he's going to slow the car down perfectly to come into the pit lane for Aston Martin. So actually, Sergioli will continue on in second position. Catterson comes into the pit lane. Rudy stays out. So it will be Sergioli in P1, and it will be Rudy in P2. And where is Victor? Is he going to come out ahead of Arrow? Is Arrow going to come out ahead of him? It's so close between the race leaders here. Arrow might just get this. They're going to come out side by side. The Haas and the Aston. But actually... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. That was Thyman. Okay. I thought that was Arrow. They are not going to come out side by side, but they are very close on track. I'd say about a second separating third and fourth position. So this is close. And the thing is, too, is that Arrow has had some time to warm up those tires. So this might be a great opportunity for Arrow to start chasing after Victor. And this might be the only opportunity for Arrow to make the move for what will be the race lead. As I do believe Sergioli will be coming into the pit lane this lap, but let's find out. The Mercedes driver, is he coming into the pits? No, he's staying out. He's staying out on track. That's interesting. Rudy, is he staying out as well? Yes, he is. That's really interesting. I'm very surprised by that, because now, actually, I don't know what to think, because I don't know what strategy they're playing. If you guys know what strategy Sergioli and Rudy are playing, please let me know in the comments so we can definitely comment on that. But yeah, right now, I don't know what strategy they're playing. The only thing I can think of, and this is a long shot, is that they're waiting for the dries, which I don't think is going to be happening. I mean, looking on board with Rudy in the Alpine, it's coming through turn 3. The rain is getting less and less. But is he waiting for the dries? I don't know. He might be, actually. And same with Sergioli. I don't know. That's an interesting thing going on there. Meanwhile, we have Backy up into 11th. He's past the ghosted car of Ryan, who is still, unfortunately, unable to join the session. So that's a little unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. But I'm sure he'll be back for the next round, and he will be looking to get a good result in that race. It hasn't really been a great start to the season for Ryan, who unfortunately qualified at the back of the grid due to a DNF, and unfortunately had some sort of maybe internet issue, or I don't know exactly. So yeah, it hasn't really been the best of races for Ryan. But like I said, he'll come back stronger at the next one. Marquito in the McLaren. Marquito is P14, 1.6 seconds to Kev. I'm assuming he will be in a position to fight for the top 10, as we have Rudy coming into the pit lane now for Alpine. So he's going to come into the pits onto the intermediate compound tires. Sergioli is the only top runner, really, yet to pit in this Grand Prix. I'm not too sure what's going on here. I think I might be having some sound issues with the cars. Hold on a second. Let me try and fix this. Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure what's going on there with sound issues. Hopefully it's all good. I want to quickly check. Sorry about this, guys. I just want to quickly check. We're having some technical issues with the sound, so I just want to quickly check and make sure the stream is all good. Okay, we're all good. Sorry about that. I just want to quickly check and make sure you guys can hear everything. So we've had a little bit of a change in things going on, really. So let's update and figure out exactly what's going on. Thyman has retired. Unfortunate to see that from the Haas driver. Is Victor has actually set the fastest lap of the race. So interesting to see that. Meanwhile, Rick has closed the gap to Luca. Rick now into P4 and looking to go for the battle for P3. Now, remember, he does have that penalty, that 3-second time penalty, as Luca actually goes a little bit wide. Rick seizes his chances, and he's going to go around the outside into the exit of turn 1. Rick takes over as race leaders. Luca going to send it to the inside. Yes, he is. He's going to go for it on the McLaren into turn 3. Not a lot of space. A little bit of wheel banding between the two cars, but Rick is into third position. Luca down to P4, so Rick has officially got ahead of the McLaren car, and Luca is down to P4. So Sergioli in P5 now. He's got that nice gap. He's actually running a really good race, really consistent drive from him. He's got a pretty good gap to the cars ahead and the cars behind. So looking pretty good. So besides the battle for P4, we have a great battle going on here for, I do believe, P10. It is between Baki and Kev. Oh, sorry, not Kev, not Baki, Kev and Markiko. So interesting to see how this is all working out. So Markiko on the intermediate, looking to make the overtake on Kev. Let's see if he's going to be going for it. Goes a little bit wide there. It's all good, though. And the McLaren car will be looking to make the overtake, probably into turn 3, but we'll see. I think a lot of drivers... Ooh, Markiko getting a little bit too much on the power on that curve of turn 8, but it's all good there. I want to talk about overtaking, actually, just real quickly. We haven't seen a lot of overtaking just due to the rain. That's expected, of course, because it's very wet, very treacherous conditions, and very hard to pull off an overtake in general. So the best place to make an overtake on this track is turn 3, and that's up the hill, coming right here, and looking to make an overtake into that hairpin. Now, there is another overtaking opportunity that's down to turn 4, and there's also another one into turn 1. And speaking of overtakes, let's watch Markiko, who's looking to the outside line, trying to get a switchback maneuver, trying to get the better traction out of turn 3 and overtake the Alfa Romeo. I want to see a better camera angle of this. There's the McLaren. He's going to send it. Yes, he is. He's looking for the overtake, but he eventually backs off. There's not enough space to make the overtake on Kev. He's going to wait a little bit longer. And we'll see if... oh, Markiko going for the overtake on the Alfa Romeo as retirement. That is Senvuda. As we see the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo going side by side. Ooh, very close to contact, but they kept it going. Slash is now in the fight as well. This is awesome to witness here as the AlphaTauri is now going to get in the action. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. You don't see a lot of overtakes into the first turn, but he's actually going to stay in P13. Here comes the Alpine as well. I do believe that's a lap car though, as we see possibly a 3-wide moment between these cars. Let's see how this works out. Here we go. The Alpha, the McLaren, the AlphaTauri, they are trying to go 3-wide as Kev going down the inside on the McLaren, and Slash now trying to get in the action as well. Nothing that Marquico can do. He doesn't have a lot of space to make the move on Kev as Slash is right there as well. This is incredible racing between the 3 drivers here. No overtakes happening at turn 4 though, so this will continue on, I'm assuming, on the next lap. So we'll see how that all works out. Now, I want to quickly mention Vandenberg is still on the wet compound tires. That's a very interesting strategy from the AlphaTauri driver. Now, I expect him to come into the pit lane very soon, but he's staying out. He's staying out for another lap. So I'm not exactly sure what his strategy is right now, because I don't see the rain ending anytime soon, as we are approaching the final few laps of the session already. This is how intense this is going to be, as Luca in the Red Bull, he has still got a around a second gap actually to Rick. So Rick's been able to pull off at least a second and get a second gap to the Red Bull driver. Now, if he can get another 2 seconds to the Red Bull driver, he will be into P3, which will be great for him, and he'll be able to get a podium in the first race of the season. Meanwhile, the top 2, let's quickly take a look at them. Arrow, very consistent drive for him today. P2 right now, looking to beat P2 unless anything happens. Safety car could happen at any moment. Tire strategy, we could see the rain end as well. We'll see how that all works out. But I want to talk about Victor, who's had a very impressive race today. P1. Aston Martin looking to win this one, but we'll see how that all works out in due time, as we see a nice little battle going on here between Slash and Slimbo. The 2 are side by side into 6, into 7. Marquico looking for the move, as well as the AlphaTauri and the Ferrari are still side by side. The 2 Italian teams looking to have a nice little fight here, as Slimbo will actually stay ahead of the AlphaTauri of Slash, and he will stay in 13th position. So we are now looking for a nice little battle going on here between Slimbo and Marquico. I think that's our closest battle right now. Is Slimbo going to send it to the inside? No, he's not going to. The McLaren of Marquico in P12 still. And I think Slimbo is gaining time. He is gaining time. I think he's looking for the overtake into turn 3. Let's see. Here he goes, pulling to the inside line. But Marquico's going to stay ahead. Marquico does continue on in P12. Slimbo is going to have to back off, and he's going to have to wait another lap to try and overtake that McLaren. And now Slash is right on the back of the Ferrari as well, so keep an eye on that AlphaTauri driver as well. We also have a battle between the other 2 AlphaTauris and Ferraris. That's Bacchi and Vandenberg. Vandenberg still on those wet compound tires, and Bacchi now looking for the overtake on the AlphaTauri. Let's see if he's going to go for it. He's right on the back. 1 to 2 tenths separating 9th and 10th position right now. And this is just awesome to witness. So 10 laps to go in this race. It has been an absolute thriller. We've had a rain race, and that's how it goes sometimes. You know, it's fun to have a rain race every once in a while. So yeah, great to see that. As we see Rudy now chasing after Catterson. Rudy could be going for a top 6. I think he'll be very happy with that if he gets a top 6 in this race. Catterson also looking for a top 6, but of course only one can have that position. But we'll see how this all works out in due time. I expect Rudy to try and make a overtake in the next couple of laps. Currently, he's a second behind. I think Catterson has still got a good enough gap to stay ahead for the next 2 laps. But Rudy, I'd say in the next 2 laps, could be in striking distance of that Williams. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do that. But besides that, not a ton of action happening besides the 2 AlphaTauris and Ferraris having a nice little battle. That's kind of our closest fight going on here. We're going to kind of go on board with these guys in a bit. Baki still in P10, and actually Vandenberg goes a little bit wide there, and Baki could be going for the overtake on the AlphaTauri. Oh, and that is Smalley off the track, and that is a safety car that has been deployed, our first safety car of the day, and this may change everything. This could change the race results. Smalley, that spin, that contact with the wall has brought out the full core safety car. Victor will be having to back up the pack now, and that could give Rick and Luca the perfect opportunity to go for the race victory here. Now, the one person this doesn't help out is Rick. It really doesn't help him out because he's got that 3-second time penalty, and that could put him off the podium. And I think another driver that could be affected by this is Victor as well. The race leader could lose it. He has a very good gap, but this safety car could change everything in this Austrian Grand Prix. Alrighty, so the question is anyone going to come into the pit lane? Well, I do know one person that's most likely coming in the pits. That's Vandenberg in the AlphaTauri. He has stayed out on the wet compound tires, and, you know, it's worked out for him, actually. The safety car came out at the perfect time, and he's going to come into the pit lane onto the intermediate compound tires and not lose a lot of time either. Smalley has wing damage from that contact with the wall. Unfortunate to see him in the wall there, but that's how it goes sometimes in racing. He will come out most likely ahead or behind his teammate. I'm not exactly sure. I think he'll come out behind his teammate. I thought Kev was pitting for a moment. That's why I said ahead. But actually, Smalley's going to come out in, I do believe, 13th position. So, here we go. We have a few laps remaining, really. We have around 8 laps remaining of this session. Victor has catched up to the Aston Martin safety car, and the Aston Martin driver makes it an Aston Martin 1-2, if you guys get what I mean. The Aston Martin safety car leading away the pack here as Victor in P1. And the question is, can he hold off Arrow? We will find out in a moment's time. His teammate, I do believe that is Julio, is coming into the pit lane now. And unfortunately, Julio is a lap behind. So, yeah, they'll have to make a recovery drive kind of thing. And I don't know if they will be able to, just because it is towards the end of the Grand Prix. But we will find out how this all affects everything. Arrow. Now, Arrow, if he can get the perfect start, off of Victor, maybe start in a higher gear due to the rain, he might be able to challenge Victor for this race victory. Another driver that can challenge Victor for this race victory is Luca in that Red Bull. Now, he's been mightily impressive, actually. That Red Bull has been very fast, and I think he could be battling at least for a podium, maybe even the race victory. The reason why I don't say Rick is because of that 3-second time penalty. That's going to affect his race quite a bit, affect his position, and yeah, we'll lose him technically the podium unless he's able to pull off a 3-second gap, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that with such a competitive grid here today. So we'll find out how this works out for the McLaren driver, but this could affect his podium chances. And I do want to mention, I want to say thank you everybody for joining the first round of F5 here in Season 31. It means a lot for you guys to join the stream here live, and for everybody watching the replay as well. Thank you for every single viewer that has tuned in to watch. This means a lot to me and to PSGL as a whole, and to all these drivers to have some coverage, you know, for this exciting event. And I'm sure a lot of them will be looking back at the stream and watching the action as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for joining. Stick around to the end of the race. We still got an exciting end to this one because it's the first safety car of the day, and the race lead could change. We have a comment coming in that says Rudy for the win. P7. Possibly, you know, I mean, he's P7. Anything can happen in league racing. We've seen it before in many different leagues that anything can happen. So I wouldn't forget about Rudy. I definitely think that he could be up there. We have another comment coming in saying Arrow. Let's talk about Arrow for a moment. Currently P2, 8/10 behind Victor. Of course, that gap doesn't really matter because of the safety car period. But like I mentioned previously, if he can get that gap, if he can get that perfect start against Victor, he is going to have a really good chance of fighting for the Aston Martin. And we will know what happens at the end of this because the safety car is coming in this lap. It's going to be exciting. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for the end of this race and the final few laps of this session. Let's see what happens. The question is, where is Victor going to go? Will he go on the exit of 10? Will he go on the exit of turn 9? Let's find out. Let's right on board with Arrow for the time being. As there goes Victor. He goes on the exit of turn 9. Arrow did not get a very good start, actually. Arrow got a very poor exit. Unfortunately, I think he didn't really expect him to go at turn 9, and Rick is now going to look to make the overtake on Arrow. Now that McLaren looking to the inside line and actually trying to warm up those tires to get a better line into turn 1. Meanwhile, Trappy Formula and Kev, I think, having a nice little battle. The Ferrari of Slimbo is trying to get in the action as well. Same with Vandenberg in the AlphaTauri, but moving back to the top of the field, Rick is all over the back of that Haas car. Sergioli is on the back of Luca as the Red Bull P14 right now. Vandenberg and Slimbo still having a nice little scrap going on here as the Alfa Romeo of Smalley back in the fight after the contact with the wall earlier on as Sergioli and Luca side by side, the Mercedes and the Red Bull. This is so close to contact, but they keep it clean as Luca has actually moved down to P5. Sergioli pulling off an incredible overtake, and now he's in effectively third position because of Rick's penalty. So this is awesome stuff from the rest of the field, from the entire field today, actually. Sergioli, in particular, though, doing a great job to get ahead of Luca and get into P4. Could be going for this podium here. The Mercedes driver might be doing this, so we'll see how this all works out for him in this Grand Prix. Catterson in P6 trying to hold off Rudy, who's in P7, looking to make that overtake on Catterson. He's only around 4/10 behind the Williams driver and could be going for top 6 in today's race. And meanwhile, further down the grid, I think that battle for P10 is still going for it as Vandenberg is looking for the move on Trappy Formula. The AlphaTauri driver is going to go to the outside line. Trappy defends the inside as the AlphaTauri looking for the switchback maneuver. Switchback maneuver for the AlphaTauri driver is looking really good for Vandenberg right now as he is trying to make the move on the Williams car. But Trappy Formula is also trying to make a send on the Alfa Romeo. Is he going to send it? No, he backs off. He stays behind the Vandenberg Williams car. He's going to try and go for the top 10 in today's race. Let's see what he can do as Vandenberg to the inside. The Williams and the AlphaTauri are side by side into 7 and coming into turn 8. We're coming into that really tricky traction zone. Here it is, turn 8. Vandenberg is going to stay ahead of Trappy Formula, and now he's actually trying to make the move on Kev. Kev's going to have to defend from Vandenberg, who's going to send it to the inside into turn 9. We don't see a lot of overtakes into that particular section, but Vandenberg has sent it, and he has proved that he is a very, very good driver. That was incredible stuff from the AlphaTauri, and now moves ahead of this train of cars. Trappy Formula still in the battle as well. The Alfa Romeo, Kev in P10. Trappy Formula will be looking to make that overtake, and Kev actually could be going for the move into turn 3. Is he going to send it? No, he does not. He backs off. But there goes Trappy Formula. Trappy Formula to the inside now. And here comes Kev's teammate, Smalley, and the Mercedes and the McLaren. This is an incredible battle going on here for around P9 in this race, all the way down to 14th. Marquico in the McLaren, side by side with the Mercedes, as Marquico will get ahead and McLaren inches ahead of that Mercedes. And now we have that battle between the two Alfa Romeos as well. Will there be team orders? I don't think so. We still have 3 laps to go as Marquico is looking for the overtake on one of the Alphas. He's going to try it to the inside, which becomes the outside for turn 8. Is the McLaren going to send it on Kev? No, he does not. He backs off. He cannot make that overtake on the Alfa Romeo just yet. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Aero is still a second behind Victor, as Sergio is now set the fastest lap of the race at 1:13.0, and he will be very happy if he gets that fastest lap as well, and I'm sure he'll be even more happy if he gets this podium in the first race. So Aero has brought the gap down to 9/10 of a second. Can he overtake Victor with around 3 laps to go? This is going to be incredibly exciting. I cannot wait to see what happens. We are now on lap 34 lap 34 out of lap 36 of the first round of the F5 Championship here in season 31 of PSGL's PS Division, as we have slash yellow flag next to him. I think he's going slowly there. Not exactly sure what happened to the AlphaTauri driver, but he is down to P17 in this race. He gets a 3-second time penalty as well, which is not going to help out. As Marquico and Kev side by side now. The Alfa and the McLaren continue their battle for P12, and Marquico is going to go round the outside of the Alfa Romeo and get ahead into turn 8. Brilliant move from the McLaren, and now he is ahead, but Kev is not letting this go anytime soon. He's moving to the inside line. He's going for the overtake, but unfortunately has to back off. Not enough space there to make the overtake on Marquico. He tried it, but it didn't quite work out. Oh, Marquico's out! Marquico is out of the race. That is a collision, either with a car or a wall, but I saw his car. You could see it in the distance as well. Not anymore, actually, but this is a horrible end for Marquico, who is unfortunately out of the Grand Prix on lap 35 with 2 laps to go. One of the McLarens is out. Super unfortunate there. So Aero, 7/10 of a second behind Victor. He's going to have, I'd say, around 1 lap to try and make an overtake on Victor. Can Aero make this overtake on the final lap of the race? It's going to be close, but we'll see. I don't know. I think Victor might have this one. But like we have been mentioning, anything can happen in league racing. Anything can happen in motorsport. As we have a driver leaving the session. I do believe that was Sanfuda, who unfortunately did retire earlier on. So it makes sense why he did leave the session there. But here we go. 1 lap to go in the first round here in Austria. On board with Aero. The gap is 8/10 of a second. Victor might have what he's got, but one little mistake, and that costs him his chances of the race victory. He's just got to survive this lap. But let's see what happens here. Victor into turn 3 now. The heaviest braking zone on the track. It's all going good for the Aston Martin so far, and he will stay in P1. Aero in P2 for the Haas, and Rick in the McLaren is P3. Sergioli in P4 looking to take 3rd in this Grand Prix as we come through turn 4 now. Victor is going to exit turn 4 with a nice gap, and he most likely will get this one, but I don't want to jinx anything quite yet until the flag drops with just a few corners to go. I think there still is a battle going on for P8 as well. Keep an eye on that. But Victor coming around the final couple of corners. It has been an amazing race for the Aston Martin driver. He's coming around 9, coming around 10, and he's going to start off season 31 for F5. He's going to start it off here in Austria as a race winner. Victor wins the Austrian Grand Prix here in PSGL. Aero is P2, Sergioli is P3, Luca and Rick complete the top 5. Wow, what a race. Victor on top here in Austria. Aero is P2, he put up an amazing fight, and Sergioli as well, P3, what a job by him. So here is your race winner, Victor in the Aston Martin. What a race from him. So here is your race winner. It is the Aston Martin Victor winning the Austrian Grand Prix as he celebrates with his team. Haas and Mercedes making up on the podium as well. Congrats to the podium finishers and congrats to the entire field. What a start to the season here at F8. and I'm sure it will be even more exciting in Miami next week. But wow, this is going to be awesome. What a race. What a season this is going to be. But absolutely phenomenal. There is the podium celebrations for Aston Martin, Haas, and Mercedes. Victor is your race winner here in Austria. So here's the results for the Austrian Grand Prix. Victor claims P1 in the first race of F5 Season 31 Championship. Arrow in P2 with Sergioli completing the podium. Luca P4 and Rick in P5 for McLaren. Counterson did manage to take P6 with Rudy in P7 for the Alpine team. Van den Berg was able to give AlphaTauri a great recovery drive, and he claims the fastest lap and P8. And then Baki and Trappi Formula complete the top 10 for the Austrian Grand Prix results. But my oh my, what a race was that. I hope you all enjoyed that one. That was absolutely phenomenal from our drivers here today. We're just going to go to the loading screen here and get into a position where we can invite our top 3 drivers into the podium box here. And then that should end off things. And hopefully that will complete things as well for the first race here in F5. But yeah, what a race. Hope you all enjoyed that one, and I want to say thank you so much to all the drivers and viewers that tuned in for the stream here today. It's been absolutely phenomenal to have you guys all along here today, and I cannot wait for the season. Alrighty, so I'm going to exit now, and I'm going to get out of this session so we can get to the showroom now. Just gonna quickly go over to our showroom over here. Where is it? Virtual showroom. Okay, I'm gonna quickly invite our drivers here. Hopefully all goes well. I'm still having a little bit of sound issues, so I want to try and figure that out real quickly. So give me a moment, guys, while I try and figure everything out, and then we'll do an interview. Okay, I am back. Unfortunately, I'm unable to hear any of the game's audio. I have no idea what's going on. It's a little bit glitchy. I'm assuming it's because of that bug. So unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to do any interviews because I won't be able to hear any of the drivers in here. So unfortunate, but that's okay. Hopefully, we'll get the interviews back for the Miami race coming up. But I want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining us here in PSGL. It's been an amazing start to the season. I cannot wait for the rest of the season, and join us next time for the Miami Grand Prix that will be coming up for round 2 of the F5 Championship. The first time PSGL in F5 will be visiting the Miami race. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been Formula Jonah. This has been the first round of PSGL's Austrian Grand Prix. Thank you all so much for joining, and we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.